Greetings and welcome to Ticket to Life. Welcome, and this is Henrie. I guess I should let you know for the new listeners. I am Henrie, and I'm so glad that you are here with me today. Now, I have to ask, how is the new year treating you? I hope that so far it has been so good. So good for you. And I would like to wish you all a fantastic year. Not fantastic, but fantastic. And just remember, whatever comes your way, it isn't a Job thing. If you're wondering what I mean by it's not a Job thing, I have an episode, episode 138 that I recorded this past September in 2024, and it's called "At Least It's Not a Job Thing." So, if and when you have time to listen to it, you might really like it and get what I'm talking about because I do refer to it's not a Job thing quite a bit off and on different podcasts. So you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, our topic today is don't be afraid. Now, I know that most of the Ticket to Life listeners are mostly women. Yay, women. But there are men out there too. Yay, men. And no matter what, or shall I say, who you are, we are all afraid of something or someone, or perhaps just being afraid of life in general. Now, that sounds crazy, being afraid of life. Now, how can we be afraid of things? Now, and when I say this now, how can this be? You might be asking that. Why I afraid of life? I'll tell you why. Because life is unknowing. You have no idea what each day will bring. With relationships in your life, they may lead to something great, maybe not so much. Jobs, friends, you don't know from day to day. And unknowing, that can be frightful. Oh, we may have dreams of what we want our life to be, and some of those dreams may come true, but some may not. Have you ever been burned by someone that you care deeply for? And then you are just standing there alone and wondering, what in the just happened? You have no idea. And and I'm trying to keep the show clean, ladies and gentlemen. No, you're just standing there and thinking, what happened? That we had this great relationship. I had this great job. I had this great friendship. What just happened and why? Well, I can't give you the answers. I can attempt to give you an answer, but I, I, let me backtrack here. Now, in there was a survey that I had no idea they did surveys like this. And I like surveys. I used to just get surveys in the mail and I'd fill them out. But anyway, there was a survey in 2023 and it was called the Chapman Survey of America fears. And the top number one reason for fear in America with Americans and they are afraid of government corruption. That was the number one fear. Now, this is my opinion. There are always, and I'm pretty sure there has always been some sort of government corruption in every country, not just America, here and there and everywhere. Now, the second fear on the survey was the economic concerns. And I definitely get that. I can understand where people are feeling that. And it was third, fourth, eighth, and ninth most common fears was war and terror. Well, yeah, that's a scary thing. Who isn't afraid of war? I mean, just the thought of war and terror, just to think of it, it's frightening. Next was after war and terror, it was death, harm, or death of a loved one. And that ranked fourth and fifth place. Now, I am thinking that would probably be my number one for me, not the fourth. This is the last one, and it is pollution of drinking water. So, pollution of, and, because we all know that it's pretty important to have water and that we need water to survive. On the average, a person can live without water for up to 3 days. And that's, I think, in hot climates. And as for not having food, that wasn't a fear, which I think that should have been one for me, would have been not having food. So, the human body can live up to almost 3 weeks without eating, but you must have water for those 3 weeks. So I wish I could have been part of that survey. I think that my priorities are different than others because I myself feel as though so many things are literally out of control, and we we can worry about them, but if they're out of our control, there's really nothing we can do about them. So we really should try not to let those frighten us and worry us. So that is why you have to not dwell on certain things, because it'll just take over and it will frighten you. And these are just my opinions. But being afraid of so many different things is crazy. But I understand. I do understand fear, but I think my family and harm to my family, that definitely would have been a priority for me. But just repeating myself, I'm sure. But anyway, so being afraid of so many different things because of past experiences in life can really do a number on some of us because they can't, or we can't, get past it. It's just so hard to let go of certain things. Now, if you were ever abused or treated unfair, I will say I am sorry, because no one deserves to be treated wrong or hurt in any way. And I don't believe that people should get away with those types of things, because abuse is just a horrible thing. No, I don't know. But anyway, if you have had trouble in your life, and I get it again, you are worth your life and being alive every single day. And know that you are not alone in certain things that you may be afraid of. Now, in the Bible, being afraid is mentioned over 300 times. And there are 140 verses in the Bible about overcoming your fear. Now, we are given the power of love and a sound mind and the perfect love that can help us drive fear away. Now, that sounds pretty easy, right? So imagine we have the power to overcome what makes us afraid of things such as alcohol, addiction, drugs, love, food, losing your addiction to the phone that we feel we have to have at all times. And we know that we really don't need to have our phone all the time, but that is an addiction. But fear of losing someone, or sickness, or pornography, you have a fear of these things. You're afraid. They bring you fear. Now, I get it. There are so many things that we may be afraid of or have a phobia of. Is it human nature for us to feel this way? Yes. Fear is a human instinct. And yes, this is to ease your mind that you are not alone, that we are all afraid of something or someone. I'm hoping that will help you feel better if you are afraid of something or someone, that you are not alone. You may be going through something that could have happened in your past, happened this morning, happened yesterday, last night, and now you're afraid. Some of us fear God. Why? So do I fear God? Well, yes, I do. Why would you fear God? He is all loving. That's why. Do you still fear your parents, and you're afraid to tell them something if you have some news, and you're just so scared to confront them with it? And it could be good news, it could be bad news, but they're your parents. But you are still afraid to tell your parents. What will they think? Or how will they feel when you break the news to them, whatever news it is? Well, I'm going to tell you, God is the Almighty and is mightier than your parents. So, on that note, if you think that Oz, the mighty and powerful Oz, is frightening, and you think that your parents are mightier than Oz, well, let me tell you, God is most powerful, and He's not even a wizard. So, you should be able to talk to your parents. This is what I'm getting at. Don't be afraid to talk to your parents or close friends that are almost like family. That's it's communication is always such a hard thing, and I don't know why we are given the gift of speaking and saying what we need to say, and yet so many of us fear that. Um, Now God is a pretty amazing. Look what he did in 7 days. Heck yeah, he deserved to take a day off. Now he can be judge. He can judge us. He can be. So that's why we need to do the right thing in the world. And honestly, as much as I like to believe that I am not afraid of many things, I would be lying not only to myself but others to say, oh, I'm not afraid of anything. But I can tell you, I am afraid of certain things. God just wants us to do good and be good. Now, I know a lot of you aren't into religion, and that's okay. But have any of you have you ever felt this that you're just so scared of God? You're just you're terrified. Well, you probably should be because if you read the Bible, you're going to be terrified. But it's because he's given us so much, and yet we take it for granted. Have I always felt this way? No. There are things that I have done that I'm sure you have done that in the past that I'm not proud of. But until we are all ready to come to excuse me, with just being kind to one another and doing the right things, we might be doomed if we can't get to that point. If we don't change our ways. And I mean everyone. And I mean, and I say everyone, not everyone, because I have known and know some of the kindest people that I will ever meet or have met in my life. And I am so thankful to have been a part of theirs at one time or another. But some people just don't know when to change. Now, I want to mention something that happened a few weeks ago. And it's about the United Health CEO, Brian Thompson. You know, the man that was assassinated in New York. Now, I watched an episode of 2020 about Luigi Mangione. I believe that's the correct pronunciation. And I'm not sure if there was a personal vendetta with him and Brian Thompson. I know he is being accused of the ambush, and I know that he is innocent until proven guilty. But I couldn't get over the fact of the way people were behaving and saying and talking on TikTok and so many other social media platforms and calling him a hero. Yeah, let's think this through, people. Hero? He just killed a man who was a father, who was a son, a husband, even though he and his wife were separated, he was still married, and I'm sure he was a friend to many people. Now, there are some women just talking out there about how hot this Luigi character is. How hot he is. He is so good looking. And they are going to support him. Again, what the heck are people thinking? Supporting someone who killed a man. I don't understand that. Now, if it was self defense, I could get it, but it wasn't. I don't understand, and hopefully, I don't know. The women that was crazy. If you get a chance, go back to 2020. I was a couple weeks ago, and watch this episode. I was like, what are these women thinking? And yes, they were women. There were some men there too, but I just didn't get that. that they're going to support someone they don't even know and someone for killing someone. And obviously, again, innocent until proven guilty. Now, for some of us, you probably said he had it coming to him. And I don't understand how that is okay with some people to say that or support this killer. Um, someone only because you don't agree with the way a company is run, a government is run. Now, granted, there are so many companies taking advantage of people and taking us all for a ride, but we cannot take things into our own hands like that. We don't have to agree with everyone, but it's up to us. Find something better for another company to deal with. Now, Luigi, and I'm sorry, every time I say his name, I do hear the theme of Mario Brothers when I say that name. Anyway, now it's in my head again. Now, this young man who comes from a well to do family, well respected, has ruined his life. And I'm thinking that he was never afraid of his parents, much less be afraid of God to do such a horrible crime. Oh, and he was very well educated. Now, my dad used to say you can have as many degrees as you possibly can get in your life, but unfortunately, they do not have a degree for common sense. And my dad was a wise man. So I just wanted to put that out there. I just don't agree with the hatred. And there's so much hatred in this world. It's not even funny. And now this young man's life is ruined because he didn't agree with someone running a company. I'm not sure if Mr. Thompson was afraid of ever his life being threatened or he would be ambushed. I'm not sure if he did. I myself, I don't understand the fact of a lot of road rage. I don't get that either. If someone cuts you off on the freeway, just be glad they didn't hit you. Why are you going to go after them and threaten them with a bat or threaten them with a gun? What? Why? Just be thankful you're alive. Some people are just crazy drivers. They've always been crazy drivers, but now people seem to think that they need to take this rage into their hands. So what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of driving on a freeway? In Dallas, it is crazy. There's so much traffic. I'm sure like on all big cities, but it can be very stressful driving on some of the freeways. But anyway, back to being afraid. I do need to go ahead and say my disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I am not a therapist. I am not a life coach. This is Henrie, and these are my thoughts and my opinions. But unfortunately, life goes on, and we have to do our best each and every day to live in goodness and just be kind. That's it. Honestly, that's all we have to do to find salvation. Just be good, be a good person, do good things, and be kind. I don't think that's a lot to ask for because guess what? We are all capable of doing it. Now, have you ever experienced joy in your life? If you're thinking, I hope you don't have to think too hard, as I'm pretty sure you have. We all have some sort of joy. When you're feeling that feeling of being afraid, if you could just think of that joy that you've experienced, take a deep breath and think of a joyous moment that you've had. It may help you feel better. Now, when I say joy, what do I mean by that? I like to think back of good times with my family, with my mom, with my dad. How about when you were first handed a newborn baby? Or perhaps it was your newborn baby. Or watching a mom or dad surprise their kids coming home from being stationed across the globe. And how about knowing that you have a family, friends, a job, home, or life that you can be proud of. Those are things to be so joyful for. Those are things of joy. But knowing the joy of Jesus is feeling what you cannot explain to others. I just can't explain it to feel the way I feel now as an older adult. It's amazing. It's the feeling, and it's so wonderful that it will just bring you joy. And when you feel that love of Jesus, it is overwhelming, and you can't help but cry because it's so emotional. It's so intense, and it's a feeling that no one else can explain. You can try, like I'm trying, but I don't know how to explain it because you have to feel it. And knowing that you are never alone, ever. Just to know you are never alone, that you have nothing to fear. And my favorite scripture is that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. Know that you can do all things, and there is nothing to fear with faith in God and yourself. Now, I know this is not probably what you were expecting, but when I say, what are you afraid of? It is life is frightening. It is frightening. But if we live with that fear, we will let that control our life, and we really can't. And I hope that you can find some peace within yourself or peace with others that have harmed you. I'm not saying you have to be best friends with those people who have harmed you. You don't even have to talk to them, but find peace for whatever situation it was, because it's tough. Forgiving is very hard. So, on that note, I hope that everyone is planning good things in 2025 and know that I am always here to listen. If you'd like to, you can always send me an email at tickettolife022 at gmail.com, or also follow me on Instagram. Um, I don't put a lot of personal stuff on Instagram, just a few pictures of me and friends, but I put a lot of sayings and stuff, and people are like, "Oh, you need to be more personal." And I'm like, "I don't know how much I want my listeners to know about me." I think I think I've shared quite a bit with you. But anyway, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, on X, aka Twitter. It's always going to be Twitter. Have you noticed people can't get away from Twitter? They keep mentioning Twitter all the time. Um, but I also wanted to share with you that we need to think of these fears that I'm going back to the fears that that I have mentioned. And if you do seek, I mentioned this too. If you do need help, go look for a therapist. Most of your insurance should pay for therapy of some sort, I would think. I don't know. I've never had to seek that, but I would hope that there is something, or maybe even some of your companies that you may work for may offer free therapy, because some of your jobs are really stressful. My brother used to work for the Defense Department, and I don't know how he did it. I have no idea. But anyway, again, I hope that you have good things coming your way. And I just wanted to tell, for all you football fans that follow me, about fantasy football, I had a lousy year. I did not do well with my football team, but there's always next year. I guess I'm not going to let it get me down. And also, I wanted to share with you, I wanted to share again something interesting. Highest paying careers without a degree. So, for those of you who do not have a college degree, airline and commercial pilots. So, you go to flight school and they teach you how to do that. Information security analyst. And this one really was something that I would never have thought, but elevator and escalator installers and repairers. These are good jobs. Apparently, you get paid really well. And I thought, really? But you think about it, we need our elevators and our escalators. Transportation and first line supervisors of police and detectives. I'm sorry. I don't think I want to be a police or detective. We've had enough law enforcement in my family. Oh, wait, my son is still in law enforcement. But anyway, if you're looking for a job and you have any skills in those, I was impressed with knowing that about the elevator and escalator repairer. Repairer. Is that how you say that? Oh, anyway, let me see real quick. Let me see what their salaries are. Out of curiosity, what do they start off? Oh, not bad. It's at the Texas elevator mechanic. The average salary for an elevator mechanic is 121,000 per year. Huh. With that now it says with a range of 60,000 to 372. Oh my gosh, I think I'm going to go learn some mechanic work and become a repair person for an elevator. Hey, that's not bad. But anyway, if you're looking for a job, I thought that was interesting because I thought, a lot of people don't have a degree. I don't have a degree, but I think it's pretty interesting to know those jobs are out there. Now, don't go out there thinking I'm going to make $121,000 in the first year. I'm sure you have to build up eventually to that. But anyway, if you can't go to school, stay in school. What is it? Be cool. Stay in school. That's what they used to say back in the 70s. So anyway, this is Henry. I'm just rambling now because I'm trying to fill in my time because when I'm on the radio, I have to have a 28-minute show. So I'm trying to fill in, and I'm sure you just all wanted to know about that elevator repair. And if you do think about it and you do get a job, let me know. Let me see how it works out for you. But anyway, so this is Henry. And again, you can message me on my description. There's a thing that says message us and I will not see your name. And if I have said anything that has offended you, um, it's just my opinion. Let's just move on from it. But anyway, until next week, this is Henry. Have a great week. And again, if you are afraid of something, know that you are not alone and know that God is always with you, that you're never alone. That's the amazing thing. God sees me through each and every day. So until next week, this is Henry again. And please, please, please go find your blessings because guess what? They could possibly be right in front of you and you didn't even know they were there. Until next week, see you then.